10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Axe.
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Warlock.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Silencer.
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Abyssal Underlord.
Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Dragon Knight.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. 10 seconds remaining. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
All being picked up in this situation seems like the hero that people would go to counter the Dragon Knight in the mid lane and cause a lot of issues for him. The only annoying thing about Timbersaw is that the Pit of Malice is super annoying because you cannot use Timber Chain out of it, and of course you have the Juggernaut to deal with, whereas the Invoker, he can sort of deal with the Juggernaut by using Sun Strikes, by still doing a decent amount of reckless damage, and like setting up cold walls, ice walls wherever he goes when his spin ends. But Timbersaw, it's kind of hard to do damage against a hero like Juggernaut. You would rely fully on the axe as well as the lifesteal to do the work on those two heroes, but we'll see. Shall see. And guys, once again, we are using this new channel, so in case there's anything wrong, please let me know quickly.
30 seconds to battle.
Alright, let's get going. Any early wards being put down? Looks like there's actually not a lot of warding happening so far. The axe is just sitting around with third ward, not wanting to use it just yet. He's going for the Pullman shield as well, so it looks like he wants to go into the lane to begin with, and that is either a bold move or very... I mean, it's a risky move because this is not a fun lane to be in. They have the Slaughter Crush, they have a spin, they have that Warlock Shadow Word spam that's going to get a little bit annoying, but most likely he imagines that the Slaughter will start being in other areas of the map. He's having an Observer Ward ready to go. Maybe he wants to go and put it a little bit aggressively in the jungle to see where the axe is, and if he does put it down, he does move himself up to the top lane, so they do want to set up for that level 1 gank on the axe. See how well it works. Bottom lane, deep vision for the side of Geek, fam spotting out rotations, a sentry rod blocking that hard camp, and nothing else really. Thing that they block their own their own small camp as well. Oh, actually no, they tried to unblock it. Sorry, that was it. Gonna say why do they block their own camp? But they did not. Top lane in the meantime looks like the Archer is going to be a little bit in trouble. The Nexus Assassin is trying to help him a little bit, but he's taking a lot of damage, and he went for the Battle Hunger level 1. So if he survives, this could be decent. But if he dies, that's not good. Oh, that's a painful skill point. That means he has to go back in lane. There's no way he can jungle right now. And going for that Battle Hunger, it's a very risky thing because you don't have any farming potential with it. The only reason you go for it is basically by, you know, using it to get away from the spin range of the Juggernaut, but that situation clearly did not really work out that well. Yaj does try and leech his way to level 2. Should not be a big issue because his level 2 is going to come up very soon. That's the way they stop him for that long. He only needs a little bit more experience, but it is kind of rough dying like that. It is kind of rough.
You deserve nothing.
And looks like the Nexus Assassin is going to have a fun time. He did go for that Stout Shield level 1, so like we see a lot of position 4 heroes nowadays, more and more they tend to go for these like Stout Shield pickups or 4-man shield or whatever, just to go for a little bit of extra tankiness. And the reason behind it is basically if you don't want to have boots, you can go for like a Stout Shield or a 4-man shield and just trade it with the enemy support, so you force them to use a lot of regen, and of course you're very tanky yourself, so you don't have to use a lot of regen yourself. Underlord in the bottom lane looks like he's having an okay time against this life, but he does have his TP available in case of emergency, and This lane is a no stun lane, so there's actually no way they can stop him from farming, and he knows that. That's why he's playing so aggressively. He's just sitting in the lane, he's trading hits. He knows that he can stay here, and there's nothing the lifesteal can do about it. As long as he has enough mana to go for TP out, he's going to be more than fine. Now we have a... Okay, that's actually a very fancy courier. Mr. Bumblebee is going to the bottom lane with a Blightstone for Jules. Can you not buy Blightstone in the side job anymore? Thing? I'm pretty sure you can, but I guess he didn't want to go there. Something. He just didn't want to take the trip, right? Velo taking a little bit of harassment, but doesn't really feel like he's taking that much damage. He is having an okay time. He's now on 50 mana, so he's a little bit careful. Looks like Jules doesn't really care too much about how much mana he has. Fine, he will not. But that is like one of the points where, okay, he used his next his next firestorm. Suddenly he's below the required mana to use a TP scroll. That could be when you try to punish him, but sadly the silencer was not quite in position, and I guess level 3 lifesteal is kind of a limit to how much damage you can do to an Underlord. The end. What do we have here? Starter finding the axe jungling a little bit, and he does secure that he dies. In the meantime, the Starter is trying to finish up these hard camps as those two very big creeps in the opening, setting up to get some damage done. The Starter does get hit by an impale in the meantime from this next assassin. He's trying to get himself out. He did get the last hit on that big one, the Centaur, and he's now going for TP, so he will be fine. Sunstrike, a little bit late. Alright, well, his work is done, right? He's on the same amount of levels as the axe. He took away his life. He took away one of his big creeps that he tried to finish off. So the axe is not really having too much fun in this area. The Nyx assassin is trying to secure his levels, but while he's securing his levels, he is sitting level 1 himself, so he's kind of having a troublesome time. Invoker in the mid lane, doing his best laning up against this Dragonite, but like I said, there's not really much you can do to zone away a Dragonite. He can just sit there and, you know, trade hits. He can farm. He doesn't really care too much about anything. He's sitting on 21 lashes right now versus the 19 of the Invoker, so they are even. Roughly even. The lifesteal in the safe lane is doing very well, whereas the Juggernaut did get contested a little bit, but I think that's mostly just because he tried to go for some kills on the axe, so that's why he might have lost a creep or two here and there. He shouldn't really have any reason to be like super far behind the lifesteal at least. And the Underlord versus the axe. The Underlord is ahead right now, so Geek fam, they are setting up for a better opening. They have a small lead, very small lead. The Underlord, like he's going for that Iron Talon build, so he's setting himself up to go back into the jungle once he's done trying to push back this lane. They are pulling this wave as well, so I'm sure he will just go back into jungle and continue farming. There's not really any big reason to try and contest this pull, as would be a little bit risky, especially because he just TP'd back into the lane, so he cannot go for that TP escape. Top lane looks like they're setting up for gank in this area. They put down a very deep observer ward. They did use a scan, so they know that Jesse's sitting somewhere in the trees here, and he does get spotted out finally. Does get crushed up, does get stunned. He does have a peel available in case of emergency. He does have that spike carapace available as well, and it looks like he's just going to sit here. He's trying to leech a little bit of experience. They're trying to push the wave in the meantime. They do have that healing ward available, and they want to take this tower as early as possible on the side of Geek Fam. They do not want to wait. They know that while the axe is not here, well, you might as well try and take that tower as fast as possible. He's healing himself up. He might come back into the lane now, but Nyx Assassin's being a little bit annoying, just leeching that experience. It is very helpful having a lane for yourself so you can get those levels that you require. Especially when you have a slow start like he did. I mean, he was level 1 2 minutes ago, so being level 3 now, matching up with the starter, that's a nice turn of events. Nice turn of events.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Like the Dragonite used his first point in his ultimate as well, so he's going to be well off to try and harass that tower as much as possible. He does have a double damage rune available as well, so he's going to do a lot of free damage to the tower. Looks like they're trying to come into position to stop him from pushing though, as you don't want to let him get that chip damage off as much as you possibly can, because he's alone in this lane, so it's kind of annoying that he's just chipping down your tower slowly and surely. If anything, you might have seen the DK maybe make a rotation to one of the other lanes. Like, he could have, for example, TP to the top lane and taken the tower with his team, but I'm not sure if that's worth it at this point, because right now he's having good farm in the mid lane, and you don't really want to leave the Invoker alone to just free farm in the lane, even if it's only for like a couple of minutes while you take the tower. But we'll see. For now, he's just going to stay in the lane, you know, contest the Invoker a little bit, push back the creep wave, and well, this way he knows that he's going to be the one pushing the enemy tower slowly but surely. And in the meantime, you know, they're farming on the starter, they're farming on the Warlock. He's trying to pull and get some levels himself. Very important here to get levels as well on. And the Juggernaut, well, level 6 in a moment. He did get leeched quite a lot, but he will be there soon enough. Underlord is level 6 himself, does have his ultimate available and another TP. He can go back into being a little bit annoying in the lane. Does have a chainmail as well, so he's not going to be an easy kill. Yarj comes in from the side, he's going to go for TP out on the Underlord. As Yarj, with that weird rotation from an axe, tries to go in from the side. A little bit too late to the party, as you need to be right next to that guy to get the taunt kill off. And in the meantime, the Underlord, well, he TP'd himself back to the tier 2, I believe, so he's not really going to be changed. He can still contest the wave, make sure they don't go for an easy push, and now the Silencer comes in from the side, tries to be a little bit annoying, but there's not really too much they can do here. That Firestorm spam is going to be very annoying to stop the push from happening. And this is going to be a very, very slow tower to take from the side of Happy Feet. They need to maybe try and make a rotation to some other lane, because contesting the Underlord, unless you can dive him and kill him, it's very, very hard to get this kill. And like I said, they have no stuns. The only one who has a stun available is the Nyx Assassin, and he's in the top lane. So without him, the Underlord knows that he's not gonna die. He's not gonna die. He's fine. T1 town on the top lane did get taken down in the meantime, and well, the Dragonite does have another what's it called, ultimate available now, so we should see him try and make a rotation somewhere and use it for something. Did go for braces as well, so just a little bit of tankiness. Maybe he goes all the way and goes for a full set of drums, as he's not that bad an item anymore. Did get buffed a little bit, did get changed a little bit, so it's okay for strength hero like this Dragonite to have it, and he is indeed in the bottom, and he wants to try and pressure the tower as much as possible and see how they can stop him, as they are going to use the Silencer, just harass him a little bit. But I mean, light harassment against Dragon's God level 2, that's not really going to do anything. The DK will move in, start harassing that tower, start pulling it down, and let's see. Juggernaut is going to be here as well, so they have all the 3 cores down in this bottom lane. The starter will be farming mid lane in the meantime, make sure the Invoker doesn't get any free damage onto the tower. And top lane is going to be farmed by the Warlock, so I like what they're doing on the side of Geek fam right here. They are making sure that supports gets levels, and the trade-off is that, you know, the course is taking down the tower, the supports gets levels. A little bit unfortunate that the starter ends up dying in the mid lane, maybe a little bit too greedy here, but that does happen, that does happen. Now the lifesteal, he's actually moving around in the enemy area, just trying to get some boundary runes up and picked up. Kind of interesting. Alright, well, that's the second tower that drops down top lane. In the meantime, Warlock is run down by this axe and the Nyx Assassin, and he's going to be a casualty on the side of Geek fam. 2 for 2 so far. The net worth have stabilized. The Invoker has picked up his Midas, so now it's going to be all about that farming speed in terms of net worth. We can see that the Invoker is a little bit behind of the Juggernaut, but it's very even on the core heroes. There's not too much separating them. Even the Axe and the Underlord is very, very close to each other. The Axe is halfway towards his blink, so that is going to come online very soon, as he does have a couple of stacks he can clear up and whatnot, so shouldn't take him too long to finish that. The lifesteal decided to go for Midas pickup as well, as this is actually something we've seen quite a lot lately, that lifesteal pickers, they go for Midas first, is to have that extra little bit of farm. And it's not a bad idea, because the only issue with lifesteal is that at some point most normal safe lane carriers will start out farming you, because it's not like an amazing AFK farm hero, but with a Midas you kind of disable that a little bit. You can keep up with farm for quite a long time, so it's not a bad idea. The only thing is that it what's it called, it lowers your, it slows down your active speed, so going to be taking him a little bit longer before he's going to be strong in team fights. He will go for an invest on that axe. He does have the blink available now as well, so let's see what kind of play they're making. They want to defend this mid tower, but this is 5 heroes from the side of Geek fam trying to push down this lane. Invoker in the meantime gets run down. Pit of Malice comes out. The axe is still in position to try and go for initiation, but looks like they'll just have to give up the towers. I mean, sure, they could maybe take a fight, but the Nyx Assassin is not in position. He doesn't have enough mana to make a rotation either. The Silencer is trying to get his level 6 as well, so they don't want to take this fight just yet. The axe is sitting ready to go for a jump, but there's a lot of heroes next to him, so be a little bit nerve-wracking. He goes in, gets the 2-man call off. The global silence comes out on top of that. That is going to be one dead on the underlord. The start is going to be the second one to drop. So they waited patiently for that global silence to be available, and they get 2 kills forward very, very easily without having any risk of a turnaround from the side of Geek Fam. So nicely done. Now they can push back the mid lane and take that tier 1 tower themselves if they want to. There's going to be a TP coming in from the Sala trying to defend this tower. They go for fortification as well. The DK comes in from the side, but this might be a little bit too greedy to try and defend this tower. As definitely Happy Feet, they want to take it. Now the DK gets run down. The call comes down from the axe. They take down the DK. The Sala's going to be a little bit in trouble. Drops down very, very low. He will be killed by the Invoker Strike Click. Ben does get that kill. Ben is trying to get himself out of that pit of malice. The Nexus S will be dropped down. Looks like Jules finding the life steals while the axe gets out as well. Looks like the Juggernaut comes up this side to try to Omnislash available. Lost vision of Ben for a second, so he could go for that Omnislash play. And that is going to be the end of this fight in the mid lane. But 2-for-1 trade once again favoring the side of Happy Feet, as they might have not gotten a tier 1 tower, but at least they get another team fight 1. Not bad, not bad. Well, that blink already paying off on the axe. He's moving straight towards that blade mill next. The silencer just trying to get some useful items for his team. A medallion is going to be the first item. The lifesteal is rushing towards his armlet. We'll have it up very soon. That is going to be a nice little boost in damage, but again, it does take him a little while before he's going to be fully online, because that Midas doesn't really give him much in terms of damage output in the team fights. But for now, it is also just mainly the axe and the what's it called, Invoker that does damage in the team fights. So understandable. The Invoker, in the meantime, also very, very slow progress towards his Acronym Scepter. He was active in the fights, where usually you see Invokers just completely AFK farm the whole game. He's been pretty active so far, so we'll see if he continues doing that, or if he's going to focus a little bit more on gaining his own levels, because he does need that Acronym up as soon as possible. Nyx Assassin is scouting around with his Vendetta as well. We'll give up the chases. There's not really anything you find. As this guy with Nyx Assassin, they can always look for kills, especially with the Sunstrike follow-up from Ben. So I would imagine that Happy Feet, they're going to try and look for less grouped up team fights and more pickoffs with the Nyx Assassin. Very soon, Jules in the bottom lane goes for TP out as we do at the Sala. No bash available, so it doesn't really matter if he were lucky or not. So that life is going to be well out of there. But in the meantime, TP's to the top lane, where Yachi is already pressuring the tower, and they want to go for this tier 1 tower. Looks like that is going to be a very easy tower to take. The axe will just make sure there's not going to be any TP rotations to the lane, and well, they'll take the tower. No trade-off being made. I guess it's not a completely bad idea that he decided to go for travel boots before he finished up that Acronym Scepter. Kind of curious, because normally you would go for the axe as soon as possible, but the travel boots definitely does help him a little bit, because he can go for that split push very easily, like he did not just now. Just TP into the lane, take the tower down, and then, well, a bad idea. Geek Fam in the meantime, they go for 4-man smoking. They're moving up to the top area. They want to go for this kill on the Invoker. They know he's up here. They go for a scan as well. Ben might be a little bit in trouble. He uses the phylactery. He does have a point available. The axe. Global side comes out. He does have his invis available. He tries to go for TP out, but it's going to be a little bit too late, as if you go for an instant TP, the global silence can cover your retreat, but he waited for a second. He tried to use his Ghost Walk, and then quickly he realized that there's no way he gets out of that one without TPing out, and that means he's going to be taken down. So Smoke Gang successfully working out for the side of Geek Fam. The global silence was used from the silencer, so that's 2 minutes without global available, and Geek Fam, they can take that kill and look straight for a push. They can potentially even, well, they've taken all of the tier 1 towers, of course, but they can take the tier 2 down the top lane, and maybe even look to take more, because the global silence is a very important thing for the team fight of Happy Feet. We'll see. Yeah, trying to mow it down. In the meantime, let's see what items is coming up. The Slala's trying to rush towards that blink. Needs about 1,000 more gold. The Warlock, nothing big on this guy just yet. The Underlord does have his mechanism completed now, so that's nice little timing for him. The Juggernaut is moving towards his Mantis Stall as quick as possible. You want that Mantis Stall as soon as you humanly can this game against the Global. And the Dragon Knight, looks like he's falling back onto Midas, so he wants to do the same thing as the Lifesteal. He is also a very slow speed farmer, so just having that Midas available to make sure you don't fall behind of the Lifesteal is a good idea. He's moving towards a BKB on top of that, I imagine, with that Ogre Club. Could also be something like a, what's it called? Could also be like a Hurricane Pike build on the DK. Wouldn't be a bad idea when you have the Elder Dragon form online, but I would imagine BKB Rush is more likely. Alright, let's see the axe in the bottom lane. Does have his blade mail available. He is infested with the lifesteal as well. They're looking for a pick off on something or someone. Let's see. They're moving in. They will be running into Teehee in the mid lane, but this is a lot of heroes on the side of Geek Fam. There are 4 people gathered up, and the 5th one is coming in the back, so I'm not sure this is going to be an easy jump to make. And the lifesteal, he is losing a lot of farming time in the meantime, so he will go out, he will go back to farming, use that Midas, so you don't lose your Midas value, and, well, give up for the chase right now. Let's give up. There's also Midas completed on the Silencer now. Pretty nice timing for support here to have us to have Midas completed. That's going to help him a little bit. So he stays in the games, makes sure that he has levels completed and whatnot, and not a bad idea. This is definitely a happy feet lineup that can go into the late game as, well, they have 3 Midases, so even though the lineup may not have the best carries in the world, it's still going to be a nice late game and very, very good Sunstrike in the bottom lane here from Happy Feet, making sure that it only hits the slaughter, and that's what he needed to do. If it shared damage with one of the creeps, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't have done enough damage to kill the slaughter, but very nice pick-off indeed. That's what they need to do, just keep using the Nyx, keep using the axe, get kills with these 3 heroes, and then just, well, continue farming with the 3 Midases that you have. Alright, looks like Happy Feet, they're having a 4,000 net worth lead right now, 6,000 experience lead as well, and Geek Fam, they're trying to keep up, they're trying to finish that BKB on the DK as the next item. The Underlord is trying to finish his Guardian Greaves, so it doesn't have to deal with the Global Silence as well, and in the meantime, well, the Warlock still haven't really gotten a chance to use his Golem. He might get one. Okay, I'm not sure what was that. Okay, that was just a best bomb, and then he just walked away. Like, nope, not gonna do that. Thought in the meantime also a little bit far away from his blink compared to what you would normally expect. I mean, most position 4 slaughter games you have blink around like 17-ish minutes, but he's still 700 gold away from it, and it's nearing the 20-minute mark, so it is definitely a very slow game for the 2 support heroes of Geek Fam. They haven't been that active in fights, and, well, they haven't really been able to. Despite pushing a lot of early towers, there's not really much else they can do in the Geek Fam lineup right now, as they need big items before the 2 calls is going to be able to take fights. The Juggernaut, he needs his Manta Style and his Diffusional Blade before he does a lot of damage, and the DK, since he's going for BKB without an early armlet, without an early blink, his early game farming, his early game fighting is kind of limited. I don't mind the drums, but drums versus having an armlet definitely does lower your fighting a little bit. Bottom lane looks like the Juggernaut's going to be a little bit in trouble. It does Manta Dodge, it does go for an Omni Slash before it tries to survive, but nope, not going to be happening, as that Infest Bomb does do enough damage to kill him. Very nicely tried though. Trying his very best, just Omni Slash, just spin, just everything you could possibly do to try and survive against that initiation, but it did not happen as he wanted it to, and there's a dead Jug. Best bomb working out successfully. The axe is falling back onto Vanguard pick up this game as well, as he wants to have a little bit of tankiness, and it makes sense. I mean, you know, Crimson Guard is good against the right-click damage of Geek Fam, the Dragon Knight, the Juggernaut, as well as the Slaughter's Corrosive Haze, so it's not a bad idea. Maybe you would want to have like a Lotus Orb early as well, but I guess Crimson Guard into Lotus Orb would be a decent build. Now let's see, Jules trying to work down Teehee a little bit, but that is DK, maybe not quite the hero you want to go on, and he tries to go for TP out a little bit too late as the rage is already going to be wearing off, and he gets caught in that pit of malice, he gets stunned up, he gets controlled, and he gets killed. I believe that was one of those cases where you're like, okay, I'm alive still, I have my Desolator complete, I'm going to do a lot of damage, but he runs into the wrong person as Teehee. I mean, it's DK with maxed out Dragon's Blood. He's not going to be killed in those like 3, 4, 5 seconds of the rage duration. So, not happening. Not happening. Alright, top lane, let's see. The Invoker is going to be run down, does get hit by that Corrosive Haze as Raji is trying to just keep tracks of him with that blink being available. In the meantime, the rest of the team is coming into the side, but they're not going to be able to catch the Invoker just yet. Ben is going to move himself around. He does have an eel set up in mind as the next item. He does have his Aghanim set up completed now as well. He's sitting on 11,000 net worth, 2,000 gold ahead of the Dragon Knight. In the meantime, Geek, they go for 3-man smoking. They're trying to invade the jungle and find someone or something. The Jules, he is going to be moving down to the bottom area. He's going to be the first one they run into, and they get a kill on him. His reaction is going to be nice. Nice use of the rage. He's going to turn around. He's trying to get a kill. In the meantime, he's running down towards the creep. He wants to get that infest in the creep, but it's not going to be happening. He gets taken down in time. Very nice takeoff, but now they have to get themselves out in the meantime. Is going to come in from the side. He does get a kill on the starter. They do get the golem farmed up with the Invoker as well, so at least they don't give up the lifesteal for nothing. It's still going to be a good kill, but not the best kill in the world. You know, a little bit of intelligence for the times. Now the mid lane, the DK is going to be run down. He does have BKB available, but he's still stunned up. He's toned up. He's not able to use that BKB, and he will be killed without even getting the chance to. Very nicely done there with that Impale, following up with a taunt, just making sure that he's going to be controlled and in that Meteor for a long time. That's one of the troublesome things for the DK, you know, BKB piercing control with that taunt. That's why Axe is so popular recently, as it is definitely one of those fancy heroes that you can always use in the game. It's never a bad Axe game. Oh, sometimes it is. You know what I mean? Nyx Assassin in the meantime in the top lane does get blunked on, does get taken down as well. That's maybe a little bit too greedy, farming up in the top area where you don't have any vision. I guess, yeah, they actually don't have any vision whatsoever. It's been dewarded. So, a little bit too greedy on Mr. Nyx Assassin. He tried to get his little bit of gold. He did finish up his blink, so it's not like he's losing any big amount of gold, but still, that could have been avoided by the looks of it. The Slaughter's trying to go for an eel set as the next item, or maybe a 4-star. He has a couple of items for both. It looks like it's going to be a 4-star first, and then he decides what to do. But an eel set rush would not be a bad idea, because you're playing against Axe, so using eel set whenever he goes in for taunt just to make sure the blade mail damage doesn't come off is not a bad idea. It's actually a very good idea. The Warlock in the meantime trying to rush towards that Midas. Will take him a long time though. It looks like they're going for Roshan as they use the smoke. They set up for something. They were kind of thinking about going for the top lane and attempt to get a kill on Ben's Invoker, but Roshan seems like a much easier and much more viable trade-off. It doesn't take them too long. The soundtrack comes out. Spots out that they're doing Roshan. It's already going to be very low though, but looks like that is going to be enough. As Happy Feet, they come into position. They send out a tornado with that Invoker. They make sure that this is not going to go unpunished, as they want to make sure they can try and contest this. The Forge Spirit gets sent in, and they know exactly what's going on. So just sit around this area, wait and see what Geek Fam decides to do. And looks like Geek Fam, they're going to give up on the attempt for now. Push out the lanes a little bit more, and then go a little bit back and forward. Go into the jungle farm a little bit more, and come back a little bit later. So the smoke gang didn't really do anything for them. Healers can just sit in the pit as well. A little EMP comes out. They do have that infest bomb available. They go in for a taunt. Doesn't hit onto anything though. That is maybe a little bit troublesome as they use the global stance. 3-man impale from Jesse with the meaty on top of that. The BKB gets popped by T. He's going to be very low though. He's going to be worked down by Jules. Jules gets hit by the Pit of Malice in the meantime. Axe goes for buyback after dying to Psionic. The life skill will die as well. The Silencer will be taken down. Ben is going to be alive for now, but he could very easily be run down. He goes invisible and tries to escape. The life still goes for buyback as well. They want to contest this Roshan. This is a lot of buybacks being used by Happy Feet. Maybe a little bit too much, as they have already lost the fight with that failed initiation from Yaja's Axe. Not landing that taunt onto anyone. That was horrible. And now without a global silence, how can they contest this? They go in. Pit of Malice comes out from Vila, trying to keep him in control. They don't want to let him move anyway. He gets first up. He gets control. The golem is bashing him in the face. He will be killed on this guy. Looks like Psionic didn't manage to pick up the Aegis as well. The DK is going to be very low. Does stun up the Nyx Assassin, trying to get a kill on him. In the meantime, as the Nyx Assassin will be able to maybe get a kill. He gets the kill, as Jesse Vash will be able to get that one little tap on the DK, and he might be able to survive. There's a blink available in 1 second. He will be able to blink himself away and survive for the moment. The Slaughter in the meantime in the mid lane does burn down 2 Jules as well. Alright, so they get a couple of kills in the meantime. Sonic still trying to farm, still trying to fight. Uses his spin defense, and he does have a blink available now. He just needs to wait for it to refresh. And indeed, he does get the blink up and running. So blink away, Pit of Malice. Ooh. Little Dark Rift escapes and threat comes out from the Invoker trying to get a kill on that Underlord, but that's not going to be happening. So that is the end of the fight, guys. But that looks very much worth it for the side of Geek fam, as they picked up the Aegis. They still have the Aegis available on the Juggernaut. They got, what was it, 3 kills, I believe? Actually 4 kills because they killed the Axe twice. And they forced out 2 buybacks, so both the lifesteal as well as the Axe is going to lose a lot of net worth using their buybacks like that. No core was killed on the side of Geek, except for the DK, so that's a small price to pay. Velo is now going to be moving towards that Crimson Guard. We'll have it up in a moment, so another defensive item that's going to be helping them survive. Lotus up on top of that would be a nice idea as well, just to take away that, you know, open wounds, take away the damage over time from the Invoker, the Cold Snap, and all of those annoying things, and potentially even help someone else on your team to take away that global silence, like use the Lotus Orb on someone like the Warlock, for example, in the middle of the team fight. And the Warlock does have his Smite completed now as well. The Starter does have that force off done in a second. What else? Juggernaut, Diffusal Blade will be completed soon. He decided to go for Blink first though. He wanted that mobility before he went for the Diffusal Blade, and now he'll fall back onto the Diffu. DK on top of his BKB, moving towards that Silver Edge, but he's still not farming that incredibly fast. The Invoker is still sitting on an insane amount of farmers. Ben, despite his team dying a little bit, buying back and whatnot, he's still the most farmed here in the game, 4,000 gold ahead of the DK, so he's having a good time. He's the one keeping them ahead this game, and his farm is definitely doing a lot of work. We'll go for a link into the next item. Looks like bottom lane, this is going to be a little bit troublesome for the Underlord. He's going to be worked at. Cosmetic Blast comes out, the Global Silence comes out on top of that, making sure that they can get this kill on the Underlord, and they will get the kill. No way that this guy survives. The Dug comes out to make sure that he falls down. Maybe a little bit much using the Global Silence, but they did not want to let him use his Dark Rift to escape that. They wanted to get the kill for sure, and better safe than sorry, right? Better safe than sorry. Right, in the meantime, Geek fam once again making his 3-man smoke rotation. They do have Teehee pushing the mid tower as he's doing as much damage as he possibly can. Meanwhile, bottom tower going to be pressured by the Invoker, so they're making a trade-off. Looks like the Silence is a little bit in trouble. He's being spun out. He goes for the Shrine Pop. He will be able to survive. In the meantime, the Impale comes out a little bit too late though, as Ionox will get himself out. They get the tier 2 tower in the mid lane. The Invoker comes into the lane, tries to defend the tower as much as he can, puts down a cold little ice wall, but he gets jumped on. He gets initiated on. The Warlock comes out. Looks like the Finn is going to be taken down on the Invoker. A little bit too greedy. In the meantime, the Life is going to be fighting under that ice wall. Yach will be killed on the Axe. Yules uses Rage already. No one got taken down on the side of Geek fam except for the Slaughter. Dark Rift comes out from the Underlord, trying to TP into the lane to help the push happening, as they want to force that buyback. They want to force the Invoker to use the buyback to get back into action. The DK still having a little bit of that Elder Dragon form available. He's going to be pushing down that tier 3 tower. It's dropping down very, very low. Pit of Malice comes down, controlling the Silence as well as the Lifesteal. They're coming in from the side. They go for an Impale. The spin comes out from the Juggernaut, making sure that that is not going to be hitting onto anyone. Velo in the meantime takes a lot of damage. He might be killed here by Jules, but Jules has to go for an Infest onto one of the creeps and continue pushing. The Metarax is going to be worked at. They do not want to go for a buyback. The Invoker bought out items, so he's just content on not buying back here. They might lose the Metarax though, and look like that is going to be the case. They lose the Metarax, the Range Trax is going to be worked at as well, but this is enough for Geek fam. They have taken a Metarax, they'll back themselves up before the Invoker and the Axis back up. None of them wanting to use their buybacks, so they'll just take the trade they can get. Still a very good trade-off. They got a tower, they got the Metarax, they can now work on the shrines. So it's definitely a win for the side of Geek fam as they push back that net worth lead that Happy Feet had a second ago on 7.5k net worth, and now it's roughly down to nothing. Experience-wise, Happy Feet still a little bit ahead. They do have triple Midas after all, but it is definitely still possible. You know, you're getting back to it. The Lifesteal is only a little bit ahead of the Juggernaut right now. The DK is moving up towards where the Invoker is as well, as he does have that Silver Edge completed moment. He does have the recipe on him. The Shadow Blade is completed, and he can buy the ultimate up now as well. Does have gold for it. The Warlock picked up a gem, so he can spot out that next assassin moving around, being a pest, as well as the Invoker with the Ghost Walk. So they're ready to take the next fight. The Diffusal Blade on the Juggernaut as well. Big damage item for him. A lot of big items played on the side of Geek fam. The 4-staff on the Slaughter. Lots of big items. The Underlord is slowly moving towards his Lotus Orb as well. And let's see in the meantime on the side of Happy Feet, the Axe is falling back onto the 4-star, so a little bit more mobility for him. The Lifesteal does have the Assault Crest completed in a moment. The Silencer, 4-star Midas, I guess he's going to go for Pike this game, as that's very, very common on Silence in a support position, but we'll see. The Invoker, in the meantime, does have that Lincoln Sphere completed with an Eel Set on top of that. And I imagine when you go for this kind of build, you probably go for like a Shiva Scud or an Archery Course the next item. Maybe a Hex could also be a good item this game. Could definitely be a good item. Nyx Assassin does have his bling, and he also went for the gem pickup as the Silent purchased it for him, but both sides have a gem available, and I see bottom tower is going to be pressured by Geek Fam. They want to do as much damage as they possibly can. They have that healing ward available. He's going to work on that tier 3 tower with that Elder Dragon Form. He does have his BKB available as well. Looks like he might have to use it. He's going to be initiated on it. Global Silence comes out. T is going to be very much in trouble. He's going to be burning down. Looks like he will be killed. Yes, indeed. He's going to be taken down. The junk comes out from the axe. He will get the final kill on that DK. Lots of spells were used to get that kill though, so maybe Geek Fam can still take this fight. They're trying their best as the gold is going to be used. The direct comes out from the Underlord. He's going to take out his team. Looks like they will all survive indeed. The Warlock almost died, but only almost. The tower was very, very close to falling as well, so despite the DK dying, which is definitely unfortunate, even though he did get to use his BKB and still ended up dying, I don't know. It was a good push for the side of Geek Fam. I just felt like the second that you saw that someone was moving close to the DK, setting up for a jump, you should have just popped your BKB, take down the tower, or force a fortification to be used. You know, either way, sure, you use the BKB, but you get a tower because of that, and then you can just fall back after the tower falls down, wait until the next BKB charge is available, and then go for another push. As it's a better trade-off than giving up that DK's life, because the only reason he died to that initiation from the axe was because he didn't have his BKB active, so the Invoker could do a lot of damage with his Meteor and whatnot. If he has a BKB up in that fight, you know, there's no way he dies, because the axe only does so much damage with that blade mill, so we'll see if they can make the next fight a little bit better inside of Geek Fam. Maybe. Alright, another smoke gang comes out. They're going for a 4-man smoke. The DK is going to be on the move with that Invis rune available. Let's see, he goes in, impale. No. Nyx Assassin gets jumped on. Doesn't get hit by anything though. Gets that blink away in the meantime. And Ben, he's going to be moving up the top lane. He's going to be cutting the creep wave and then probably just TP out. Looks like he's going to be just moving past the first one, as he knows that they are very, very close to him. So he doesn't want to risk getting killed. And he will take down the next creep wave. Possibly? No, he will push the mid lane. Right, I guess that's also possible. I mean, he's just going to be pushing somewhere, right? He's going to be moving all the way to the bottom lane, maybe set up on Velo, as the lifesteal is in the area. Setting up for a kill would be nice. And Velo is going to be the one they want to run down. They're going to go on. The Sunstrike comes up. The Dark Rift has already been used, though, so the Underlord will get himself back to the base, and he will survive. Very nice reaction, realizing that there's no way the lifesteal is here without backup, so they'll just get the hell out with that Underlord. And in the meantime, Happy Feet, they have to disengage as they tried to go for that kill. Didn't work out. Now they just have to make sure no one dies on the way out. And they are going to be successful doing that. No one died, so everything is good to go. I believe that is also the last smoke on the side of Geek Fam for a little while, so they cannot go for any smoke ganks. They're going for Roshan in the meantime. As Happy Feet, they just use some TPs back to the lane. They know that there's, you know, they're split on the map right now, so they can go for Roshan, and that is going to be an easy pickup. Second Aegis goes to Geek as well as the first one. Alright, so let's see. Aegis is up on the Juggernaut. They will take down that shrine as well. He's moving towards the Mjolnir as the next item, as it makes sense. There's a lot of armor on the Happy Feet lineup, so having that Mjolnir damage makes a lot of sense. They don't have any BKBs. Well, the life still has this rage, but there's no BKBs completed just yet, so Mjolnir damage is definitely going to be able to do a lot. And attack speed is a great setup for a Basher that he most likely will go for afterwards, I would imagine. Let's see what else. Starlight does have a Solar Crest completed now. The Warlock still not really moving into any big item. He does have 3,000 gold picked up though, so he can go for like an Acronym step to pick up very soon. The Underlord does have that Lotus Hop completed in a moment as well. The DK next item will be an Assault Crest for him as well, as it takes him a little while to finish up, but it's going to be a nice upgrade. Bottom lane looks like the Underlord is going to be taken down a little bit low, but he's going to be the defender of this lane. He's making sure that they cannot go for a split push situation inside of Happy Feet. They will have to go back and defend, and whenever the Underlord is necessary in this top lane, he can just use his Dark Rift to come back in. I like what they're doing here, just using that underload, making sure that they don't get forced to go back and defend their buildings, because they're already doing that. They have this underload defending the lanes and making sure that his team can definitely go for a push without having to back up all the time. Alright, let's see what items is coming up online. The lifesteal with that assault crest complete is moving towards the Bastion next. He will have it up very soon. The Nyx Assassin picked up a 4-staff as well. The axe does have his own 4-staff complete, moving towards the Shiva's guard next, halfway towards it. The Invoker decided to go for a blink. Yet again, a little bit more mobile, but I do kind of miss to see the next big item come online on top of that Lincoln Sphere. And at this point, I guess you replace the Midas. Well, you just put the Midas in your stash and then go for that Hex or something like that, as he does need to go into that late game Invoker build. As Lincoln Sphere as the only big item on top of the Aghanim's is not going to carry him through this late game. He needs a lot more damage, so we need to see that, you know, Hex, Shivas, Octarine, Refresher, any of these items come online. Otherwise, he's not going to do enough. Alright, deep bottom lane. Still kind of thinking about jumping Velo here, maybe trying to make an attempt on his life, but looks like they will jump him down. He's going to pop his Guardian Grease, pop his Crimson Guard, and then just be like, you're not going to kill me, bro. Not happening. In the meantime, mid lane, they jump in, they set up on the silencer, but this Slaughter may have asked for a little bit too much, as he didn't get his 4-staff away. He just wanted to get a little tap on that silence. The global silence does get 4-star as they're trying to get a kill on this Underlord, but he's going to go for TP out and he will survive. So get a Slaughter kill, but nothing else. Alright, Happy Feet. Well, punishing the Slaughter there for sure, as that was a little bit greedy. I mean, I guess he was just going to go for a jump and then he wanted to get his Frozen Haze in the silencer, but that just seemed like a foolish move because no one was in position to help him, so that was just him dying for sure. And now we'll see the Warlock gets hit by that Ice Wall from the Invoker. The gem is going to be dropped down as the Warlock dies. There's no way they can help him surviving. They don't want to take a fight when they have 2 people dead. And without the Slaughter, sure, the Slaughter doesn't do a lot of damage in the fights, but the Solar Crest and the Corrosive Haze is very important for them to do damage, so they cannot take a fight without the Slaughter being there. They'll just have to give up the heroes, give up the gem. Very, very big losses on the side of Geek fam, as they're now back to that point where Happy Feet, they're 5,000 gold ahead, and keep in mind, there's an Aegis still ticking on the Juggernaut, so they want to use it on the side of Geek fam, but it looks like they are not really going to get a chance to do that, as it's gone in about 1 or 2 minutes, so they need to go straight away when the Warlock is back up, otherwise they will have wasted that opportunity to use the Aegis for anything big. We'll be back to just, you know, equal, no outer towers for both teams. Both teams have roughly the same amount of damage done to the enemy as well. You know, obviously the Metarax in the mid lane down for the side of Happy Feet, but that's definitely a small thing. You can work around that. They're split pushing, they're trying their best, chip down the buildings in the mid lane, the bottom lane, and whatnot. So we'll see if they continue doing this. Right. Warlock picks up a Glimmer Cape as well, so he's not going to go for any of those big items this game. The tier 3 down the bottom and will be taken down by the Juggernaut in the meantime. They're trying to use that Aegis. He will be stunned up with that impale. They're trying to run him down. The song comes out. Looks like the Juggernaut is going to be taken down. That's the Aegis burning. As Vito will be hit by a meteor. In the meantime, he's burning down very, very low. Will follow the meteor. He will die as well. The Silencer got taken down in the meantime. Omnisize comes out from the Jug. Self-heals from the Invoker, keeping himself alive. They do have that Trend Heal available in the meantime. Buyback comes up from the Nyx Assassin as well. Jules is still fighting against Teehee's DK. In the meantime, this Slaughter's going to be a little bit deep in, trying to help the Juggernaut. The Juggernaut will survive, get out as well. Teehee goes back, tries to fight, but the taunt comes out, and Jaj is going to be the execution on the DK. The DK drops down as then everyone just doing so much damage. The Lifesteal especially doing a lot of damage at this point. Look at the right clicks coming out. They do go for a taunt on this Warlock. They might be able to get the kill. They don't have any detection on him right now, but they do see him now and they'll get that kill.
Middle barracks are under attack.
Right, looks like the Happy Feet lineup did also lose one of their gems, as the Juggernaut managed to pick it up in the heat of battle in the middle of the fight. So they will have to use that backup gem on the side of Happy Feet. I believe did they lose both gems? Did they lose both? Actually, they lost both gems. Okay, that's kind of rough. Actually a pretty big trade-off inside of Geek Fam if they take both of the gems as well, but they might have to go for some buybacks themselves now, as then he's pushing down the top lane. He's making sure that the Juggernaut is not going to be able to set up anything. He will put down that ice wall, not going to be hitting onto anything. And in the meantime, Ben is going to be in trouble. He gets blunt gun by the Slaughter and Psionics' Juggernaut. He will be taken down, as that is not what you want to have happening. If you're going to go for a push yourself, you use a couple of buybacks defending that bottom lane push, and now losing the Invoker means that they cannot go for a counter push, they cannot force any buybacks, and Geek Fam, they'll lose absolutely nothing for that attempt. They will lose absolutely nothing. That's pretty big, pretty damn big. Pretty damn big. Alright, so let's see. The buybacks that were used were the, I believe, the silence as well as the assassin. The axe that he used. Both of the supports inside of Happy Feet use buybacks. I guess it's not like the worst thing in the world, but it's definitely still not a good thing. As Geek Fam, they are ahead in this game right now. They're behind the net worth, but they have the advantage in terms of towers. They have the advantage in terms of racks being taken down, and they don't have any buybacks on cooldown right now. We can see if they actually have their buybacks available. Let's see. Only the Juggernaut right now. The others is just banking up gold. The Warlock will have his buyback now. The Slaughter's 40 gold away from his. So they have a lot of buybacks available in case of emergency. Teehee will move up the high ground. It's on that Sorcerer hasn't been able to go in. The Fest Bomb comes out. The Lord Problem is going to be keeping the Dragon alive for now, though he does have that BKB available. Can't pop for one unnecessary. Jules in the meantime is taking a lot of damage on this lifesteal, and he will be killed with that Omnicide from the Juggernaut. Silver comes out on the Juggernaut with a tornado as Yas goes in for taunt, but they're not going to be able to get the kill on the Juggernaut as he got lifted up into the end. He will be able to survive the Silence of Dice as well. That is 3 people dead inside of Happy Feet. It looks like Geek Fam, they have finally done it. They have pushed the racks, they've taken the kills, and they can take the whole base. There's no buybacks available on anyone on the side of Happy Feet. Only Ben is the one with buyback available right now, and he gets jumped on. He's going to be taken down potentially here. They don't have any protection right now. He will get the blink away, but now will survive for a little second longer. But no, not much of a second though. Not much of a second. Didn't he get the blink away? Kind of looked like he got a blink away, but I guess not. Ben goes in for the second round. Will be bashed up in the face. Ben is controlled. Just have another first phase available in the second. Oh, the Juggernaut goes in, goes for a blink initiation, gets that hit off, and Ben is going to be killed the second time, and Nyx will drop as well. GG will play gets called as Happy Feet. No one is alive, and that is the end. Happy Feet will call it GG. The second, well, I guess the first game of this grand finals will go to Geek Fam, meaning that they are now sitting on a 2-0 lead. They only need one more game won, and then they will win the series. So Happy Feet, they have to win 3 games in a row against Geek Fam, and despite them being ahead most